Hey guys, I apologize about the setting. It just has to do with my state of mind at the time, and I guess sometimes when I put out my big fancy camera, I start to have coughing fits and different weird neurotic shit that for some reason doesn't manifest itself in the same way with a phone. Maybe it's because I can see my face. Maybe that's the reason. This is a review, a very free-flowing kind of ReviewBrah type criticism of the book by Bob Woodward titled Fear, about the presidency of Donald Trump. Bob Woodward really leaped into there and got some exclusive information for us by talking with some of these government officials. A lot of these government officials, they have very boring and pointless lives, not so different from our own. They go through the monotony, and yet they want to feel real. They want to be imprinted in history. And here comes Bob Woodward, a former Watergate journalist, desperate for data, desperate for information and little shitty insights. And they fucking get in there. They really get in there, and it's extremely obvious who his sources are, because they're at the center of the narrative. It's like, who could be this fucking source? Ivan went to the fucking auto store and picked up a tire and had an awkward exchange with a guy who was expecting a different tire. Who could be the source for this story? Who could be the fucking source? Could it possibly be Ivan? Well, fuck it, that's kind of the idea. It's just the whole book, Fear, is a connection of narratives. And of course it's named Fear because liberals are afraid of Trump and like to have that word associated with his presidency, but it's also the intricate reason it's called Fear is because Trump described power in the book as the ability to instill fear. So anyway, you know how ReviewBrah, how he gives his ratings, and he says, this rating I'm gonna give for relative to Domino's pizza. Like, this is the pizza, this is what you expect. You don't fucking compare fucking Domino's pizza with something else. With like a fucking normal human food. Or let alone like actually a decent pizza from Italy or some shit. No, you compare it to a Domino's pizza and you give a rating relative to that. That is to say, otherwise you would have to give it a rating of 1 or 2 or 3 all the time. And in the same spirit, relative to other books about books by journalists with little shitty insights from the current presidential administration, relative to that, I'm gonna give this book Fear, a 5 out of 5. And the reason for that is because in addition to the gossip, in addition to little fucking shitty stories and little pieces of information, you really get a sense of Donald Trump from this book. More so than the other book I read in a similar vein, The Fire and the Fury. This one really kind of gives you a little bit of Trump's philosophy, of who he is. You see, this is a bowl that you can sit on, because this is my mother's office, home office. Anyway, maybe should I sit on this bowl for the rest of this review? I don't know, it's gonna fucking pop under me. I weigh like 260 pounds. Okay, well, I'm sitting on the bowl, my dudes. Can you see it? This is very stupid. Well, anyway, this is a one-take review. Where was I? Oh, yeah. So, I don't actually, contrary to what you might expect from my videos on my main channel, I don't actually like to caricature people in a literal sense. I mean, I obviously like caricaturing them for the sake of entertainment, but if I were to actually write a book about Peterson, let's say, I wouldn't call him the Lobster King. I mean, maybe I would to sell the book, but I mean, the rest of the shit would be different. I mean, it wouldn't be a book worth reading if its whole point is to create a caricature of Peterson, even if all of my otherwise opinion is negative. And when it comes to the president, he is very stupid in many ways, and he is a dangerous presence in the White House. Would I call him an overall moron? No, because he has a kind of a hustler intelligence. It is a huge. You wouldn't want to invest with a guy who filed for bankruptcy fucking 5 times. You wouldn't want to do it. But the fact that he filed for bankruptcy 5 times and was able to make money in any way whatsoever means that he has a kind of a hustler, schemer, smarts. So like it's kind of like you go into a country club and you get everybody to invest in your schema, then that business completely fails and you go back to the country club and you can fucking, get along with everybody. Well, that's a fucking skill. That's a kind of intelligence that helped him in the world. And you really get a sense of it in this book when, he plans to sell different one of his laws. He discusses his legal troubles, etc. You do get a sense of his lizard brain. But more importantly, you get a sense of his political philosophy. And essentially, it's kind of like the whole of America is like a big business, a huge corporation that different morons have mismanaged. Obviously Obama, but also George W. Bush. It's like, if we're gonna go into Iraq, motherfucker, we gotta snatch that oil. In this book, it's reported that when a president of Azerbaijan told Trump that China is mining, I think, diamonds in Afghanistan, he was really pissed off, even though that story turned out to be fake news, complete bullshit if you're sane. They had mining rights in Afghanistan, but it's not actually plausible to mine there at this time with a lack of infrastructure and with fucking Taliban controlling half the country. But when Trump heard about it, he was fucking angry and he said, we gotta fucking mine in there. Let's get in there and take those diamonds. And nobody fucking, they once again had to talk to him like a 12-year-old. And the reason why he shits so much on American allies is because he believes all of them are using America. It's just all these buffoons to be liked around by foreign leaders. All the former presidents have given away America's riches and fucking extended American power, and the leaders of those countries were the clever ones. They were the fucking sneaky fucks who got these idiots to hand over American power and resources to them. And now Trump is trying to pull that back because it hasn't been serving the United States. And that's basically his whole foreign policy. And that's why he sort of bitches so much about American allies, because I think they're just fucking these schemers who have, he has no concept of mutual interests, like of mutual defense or anything like that. It literally doesn't process in his brain. And that kind of explains his opposition to NATO, even though in certain ways he can sound like a leftist talking about it, or like an isolationist, and he's closer to an isolationist, but nevertheless he's basically can't process the idea of mutually reinforced interests. He really can't promise it. It's a dog-eat-dog world out there. And the most annoying part of this book is Lindsey Graham, who basically brags in there about how well he can suck Trump's balls, which is pretty disgusting, because he was like a fucking civil wife to John McCain, and you'd think you'd have some baseline loyalty to McCain, but no. He went from feigning this establishment outrage at Trump to just getting on his knees and kissing his ass continuously. And this fucking ball sucker, he is really annoying in that book. He constantly shits on Obama in front of Trump, saying shit, you don't want to be like weak like Obama. And shits on Obama for some reason way more than Trump does in his private discussions. It's like, seems like Obama has disrespected fucking Lindsay in some way. He constantly has to fucking whine about that shit. Anyway, my friends, that's a 5 out of 5 book if you want some fucking that establishment gossip, different weaves of establishment narratives from different people who are dead inside that nevertheless give us some insight into the president, a book that's relatively well written by the standard. You know, check out fucking Fear by Bob Woodward, my dudes. Until next time.